Well, there's one thing I have to say, that in all my years of directing and being on the stage, this is probably the most wonderful production I've ever had. I've never yet had a cast and crew who have pulled together as they did to get this production on the road, Play It Again, Sam. In the beginning, I never had a Woody Allen. I never believed I would have a Woody Allen, and I suppose I threatened poor Madeline that if we don't have a Woody Allen, I scrap the play. But lo and behold, last night of audition, Canada sent me a godsend, and in walked Mark Fennig. Well, I don't think Mark knew he was actually auditioning for Alan as a part, but it took me about 5 minutes to realize this is it. I walked out of the audition and Madeline came to me and said to me, have you cast the play? And I said, yeah, I did it. And she said, well, who's going to play the famous Alan? And I said, there's only one Canadian who can do it, and that's Mark Fennig. And she said, do you know he's never been on the stage before? And I said, well, I can handle that. I've done this. And we started rehearsing. I have to say this is an experience. To put together a really delicious stew, you need a lot of good ingredients. And every guy that walked onto the set and every guy that participated was just a gem. I want to thank Mark for his fantastic production. I sat there for 6 full performances and enjoyed every minute of it. And then, of course, there was medical student number 2, Alon. Alon brought a real warmth to the stage. We had to get him to talk real slow. We had to teach him that he wasn't allowed to catch any trains, but he pulled it off at the end. He gave us the most unbelievable character. Libby, on the other hand, was pretty natural. She's been on the stage before, she's had a lot of experience, and she showed us her experience and played her part with charm and poise. Libby, you got a good thing going for you. You have the stage presence, you have a wonderful face, you have a wonderful voice, and a very, very natural character. Probably if I was a professional director, I would tell you to play for the camera and not on the stage. Joy. Joy is a joy. She came a long way in her rehearsals, and she did a fantastic job being Dream Sharon, being the real Sharon, flaunting it around over there. She looked wonderful. I am so proud of you. Tamara. Well, one thing I learned in this production, and after 20 years of being on the stage, is that tequila does work. 2 minutes before a performance, when everybody's really tired and somebody has to go and flaunt it on the stage, the tequila did its job. Our South African American. Bogart gave us a wonderful performance. He almost looked the part. He had the voice, and I think he brought that little bit of magic into the theater. And not to forget Shelley. Shelley, our expectant mother. I know none of you can see it yet, but in 2 or 3 months you're going to have a wonderful surprise. Gave us a gorgeous performance. She was natural, she was beautiful, she did everything she was supposed to do, and I'm really, really proud of it. But as most of you guys know, a play is not only the actors on the stage who pulled together and really did a great job. We had a fantastic crew. We had Bernie, who's a veteran to the stage, been years in the theater, who built our beautiful set and put it all together. We had Svi, who had a smile on his face 24 hours a day, jumping up and down, making everybody very happy when we were all down. We had Maya, who did a wonderful job in putting all the costumes together and telling the guys not to wear this and yes to wear that, and acted as if she was born in the 70s. I think she only was born in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. We had Shelley's great husband, who did a fantastic job. We had Shauna, the 3rd medical student in our production, who helped a lot with costuming and everything necessary for backstage. And we had a great lighting production with Rachel on the lights, and also veteran of TACT, always on the ball and there to scream and shout and get things ready. I have to admit it was a pretty scary experience going up a ladder 6 meters above the ground to hang a couple of lights that seemed to have gone out of focus. And of course Linda, who helped us on the music. You really came through, Linda. Thank you very much. And Madeline for the entire production, now chairperson of TACT. Thank you for begging and pleading and making me promise that I would do this production. I have absolutely no regrets. And last but not least, to my assistant director, Simon, I thought you did a wonderful job. I'm really proud of you. You really came through. You filled in for me when I was in Germany, when I was in San Francisco. You did a fantastic job with the cast. So all I can say to all you guys, play it again, Sam.
Well, everybody thought I was putting on the accent, but it's actually my real voice. So I've been trying to not play Bogart for so long. It's kind of embarrassing now. Every time I talk, people say, Humphrey Bogart, come here. And I just turn around and say, here's looking at you, kid. Actually, it's not true at all. I'm definitely not American. I come from different climes altogether. And this has been a real trip playing with these guys. As the, dare I say, oldest member of cast, it's been a lot of fun playing with the kids. And I've had a ball. I gave Karen a bit of a hard time occasionally. I used to wind her up. But I really had a ball. It was great. And when we knew that Mark had signed on, my God, unbelievable, and Raphael, Clearfield, and Joy, and Vanessa, Tamar, great cast, Shelley, and who have I forgotten? And Zvi backstage. Great cast, great crew, wonderful production, and terrific direction. This has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed playing Bogart. I love Bogart. Everything he's been in is just like amazing. And I felt very privileged to be asked to play him. I hope I did him justice. And all I can say is well done to the rest of the guys. Good job. Thank you.
So I just want to say it's been a fantastic experience doing this play. It's the first play that I've done in about 13 years. And just, it sounds maybe corny, but it's really a wonderful group of people. Everyone is volunteering their time. And you really feel the difference when people are doing something because they love to do it, as opposed to because it's a job or they're getting paid to do it. And everyone from Karen, the director, Madeline, who brought us amazing food every night, and really, this is someone who's acted in plays, someone who's directed plays here at TACT, and yet for this play, she was the mom who brought us food and made sure we were okay. And you really feel that people come with more than 100% to the production. And there's a girl named Shauna, who I think you saw. She's cleaning the stage back here. And she's backstage. You never see her, but she's dressing and helping to undress everyone in the show for every night. And there's another thing people may have noticed in the production is we all have a lot of quick changes. I think everyone has a really, really quick change where they come off stage, have to strip and change and come back on stage. And it's usually Shauna or it's James, who's backstage helping everyone with their costumes and with the changes. And I have a quick change that up until opening night, I never actually was able to make in time. And Shauna, she started leaving things back for me. Even the earrings that I wore, she would leave them open, with the clips open, so I could just put them on my ears and close them. She was such attention to detail. And tonight, in the production that was taped, that everyone's actually going to watch in this video, I come off as Dream Sharon, and I take off my negligee, and I go to put on my skirt, and the zipper breaks. And for a moment, I really thought I was going to have to come on stage without a skirt on. And I tell Shauna, and she runs back to the dressing room, and she finds me a safety pin, and she comes back, and you wouldn't believe that there would have been enough time to do this. And she pins me up in the dark. She can't even see what she's doing. And just in time, I managed to go on stage with actually dressed like my character is supposed to be dressed. So all of this is happening backstage, and I think it just adds to the excitement and adds to the energy. But it's because of all these people and all of the efforts and all of the energy that they put into it that I think the show is really a success.
So here I am smoking another ciggy while I'm doing this little interview for post-TACT production. And for the record, let me just say this. I did not have a tequila before the performance. It is my full voluptuous talent that just emerges on stage and blossoms forth for the lovely people in the audience and my lovely cast. Playing the three characters in the play was quite an interesting challenge for me. First, I was the Catholic girl, if you remember. Prim and proper, fully dressed, completely clothed, no skin showing, to which I then progressed onwards and upwards to Vanessa, aka nymphomaniac, dream girl of Alan's, one of his many fantasies, ready to fulfill any sexual desire. And finally, I played out the dark, deep, very inquisitive, introspective-minded museum girl, where I quandered and questioned the intricacies of life beneath a Franz Klein that we saw very elegantly in the play, which was left to the imagination. In any event, in all honesty, this was a really good experience for me. It was my first production with TACT. It was the first time I got to work with such an amazing cast and crew that were so full of energy, so full of life, who had a lot to give and a lot of charisma and a lot of great spirit. It was so wonderful to be a part of this entire production, from the very beginning when we first started in February all the way to the end, and tonight to closing night when we got to be really wowed by such an incredible audience that really seemed to enjoy the show and really seemed to love us. Seeing the set come down and seeing everything be put away, it finally feels like it's over, and I feel sad, but I also feel really, really good, and I'm very thankful for this experience. So, and that's it. I hope everybody liked the show, and peace out. Thank you. Bye.
Well, you know, playing the part of a go-go dancer 3 months before expecting my child has been quite a challenge, but I think I've managed, and you'll see as you watch the video that I think that we've been able to pull it off well with the choice of costume. I think that we were skillfully able to hide the fact that we're expecting, and you know, judge for yourself as you see the video. You know, they first considered asking me to play the bogey role, trying to do something a little different, non-traditional, but they wanted Bogey to smoke cigarettes, and I'm more of a cigar type of a person, so we just decided it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. Well, now that we're done filming, it looks like my current husband and I will be taking our new child and going back to Mexico and enjoying a nice time of relaxation there. And you know, I'll miss the cast and I'll miss the fun times, but we're really enjoying our planned future life together. And you know, it was good while it lasted, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to do this again, but for now we'll just plan on a life in Mexico.
It's a big step down from Hollywood, I know, but it's important to give back to the community. In fact, okay, that's good. Can you give me the water? I told myself when I was coming up that I would make sure, that's fine, okay. I told myself not to forget the little people, so here I am. Can I get a drink? Can I get a drink? Thanks. Oh, great, thanks. Oh, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, the funny thing is that I wasn't going to do this in the beginning. When I think back, it was Karen. When I found out that Karen was directing, Karen Tall, then I knew that this was my opportunity to give back, like I said. But even still, no, this is funny. Even still, I wasn't going to do it. Until I heard that Pfennig was being casted for the lead role, that there was a chance. I told Karen, actually, I said, you get Pfennig to play the lead role, and I'll play Dick Christie, his best friend. Mark and I actually, we go way back. We've been, Mark and I, we've been playing around for a while now, and this was my chance to tie it all together. So I said, what the hell, and we went for it. So I had a lot of fun. Karen was great. The other actors, well, they were a little difficult to work with at first, but they came around as well. Libby, especially, Clearfield. But all in all, I had a great time, and I feel good. I feel good about myself for doing this. Right now, I'm actually being cast back in another film. Actually, it's not a lot to talk about it, so. But really, 100%, Karen, loved you. Mark. Well, that was it, and what can I say?
Gosh, yeah, I've been acting for a really long time now. Ever since I was a kid, I was one of those kid actors. Actually, it came down between me and Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, and turns out that his parents gave a lot of money, and we'll stay quiet about that. But it was shortly thereafter, after I made my first million or so, that I hit the streets, and I kind of got a fix, and I headed down a bad path for a while, and things weren't so good. That's why a lot of times in the show I had to wear sleeves. Anyway, it was around that time that I met Karen, and she helped me get myself back on my feet. And so she asked me if I wanted to do this show, and she says, I've got this great guy, Matt Pfennig or something. I think it's Matt. Anyway, and I was like, I don't know who that is, but she said he was from Canada, from Saskatchewan or Vancouver or one of those places. And so I was like, I haven't done it in a while, and plus I'm more used to, being a film actor. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll check it out. And she's talking also about these other people in the cast, and I came in and everybody was really nice. So I was like, all right, what are you paying me? And that was when I almost walked out the door. So, what are you gonna do? You do it because you love it. And it's been a really good experience, and Matt was great. No, Mark, that was his he was great, and it was great working with him and with Alan. And so I hope to continue with this for a while, and the rest of the cast was wonderful, and we had great direction. And if they want to bring it back to film, I think that's really where it's at. That's where the money is. So, and that's also where you get a lot of other good stuff. All right. So, good riddance to all. No, I'm kidding. Hope to see you again in the future.
It's interesting, actually, how this all got started. My agent kept telling me, go to the audition, go to the audition. And I thought, Jesus, how many options does one man have to deal with? I mean, you'd think that having choices is a good thing, but in the business, you quickly learn that it could be a curse. But then I learned that they signed on Joy Pincus, Tamar, and Larry, and that's when I started to think about it. You know, really consider it. So I call my agent and I tell him, I'll do it. And he goes, great. And I say, but only if I can act opposite Libby Claire Clearfield and Shelley and of course Raphael. I need Raphael. And he tells me, I want to get the words right. He tells me, don't hold your breath. And you got to understand, he's never told me that. No one, in fact, has ever told me that. So I know this isn't for real, and I forget about it. Then a week later, I'm doing lunch with Johnny Guar, and we're talking 6 degrees. And then my phone rings, and I pick it up, and I hear Coppola, you know, the girl, and she's yelling at me. She's screaming, "You're destroying my caster!" Some crazy nonsense like that. I don't know what she's talking about. And I say, "What the hell are you talking about?" And she says, she screams at me. She goes, "You pulled Clearfield from my production." I don't know what she's talking about, but then I realize that now Clearfield is signed on, and that's when I really realized it's going to happen. This is happening. I'm in. So I call Karen Tal. And I know she knows it's me because every time I call, she knows it's me. My name pops up on her caller ID or something like that. But she plays it cool. She picks up the phone and she says, "Hello," like it's some grocer trying to figure out what a good time would be to come around and drop off some grapefruits or something. And I tell her, "Look, you know who this is. Let's talk. Let's talk." And she says, "What could you give me for Play It Again?" And I tell her, we both know what I bring to the table. Experience. And then there was a pause. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And then she says, "Mark, I'll see you on the set."
Well, of course, we're privileged with a splendid cast, absolutely superb. All old Vic, you know. Some of the foreigners were, filthy habits, but it couldn't be expected, Yanks and sort. Well, I suppose this doesn't really suit their standard. Well, this sort of thing is codswallop, complete codswallop. The type of standard one tries to achieve in the theatre while walking treading the boards isn't sort of the thing one expects of an audience. Yes, thank you. No, I'm walking, thank you. I admire the cast. It's splendid. The makeup was superb. Especially the improv was partially complete. I must say I do admit to one or two boobs myself. The thing to remember is that the cast really put their heart and soul into the whole thing. Well, I suppose they was all there. Didn't I order a cab at some point?